What if the very place you built from the ground up, the one that bears your name, turns its back on you? Impossible, right? That's exactly what happened to James Carter, one of the most successful black CEOs in the banking world. He stepped into his own bank, his empire, expecting the usual treatment. But instead, he was greeted with cold, dismissive stares and told he wasn't authorized to receive service. His own employees, under his roof, refusing him basic service. If you want to know what happened next, stay tuned. But before we unravel the full story, welcome to Stories with Mr. Gray. If you love uncovering the truth and standing up for justice, hit subscribe and drop the flag of your country in the comments below. Meet James Carter, CEO of LaFleur Financial. He didn't just build a successful business. He shattered barriers in an industry that's always been dominated by others. His bank, now a symbol of black excellence, became a beacon for those who thought they could never make it. But today, James Carter steps into the grand lobby of his bank, LaFleur Financial, a place he built from the ground up. The polished marble floors, the gleaming glass walls, the sleek, modern furniture. It's all a reflection of his hard work and vision. He's greeted by familiar faces, employees who know him, respect him, and admire him for his journey to success. But today, something feels off. He walks past the receptionist's desk, exchanging a friendly nod with the young woman behind the counter. But there's something about her eyes. She doesn't meet his gaze. He shrugs it off. Maybe she's just busy. James said to himself, it's just another busy day. No need to read too much into things. He heads toward the VIP lounge area, where he's scheduled to meet with an investor. As he passes, he notices a group of employees whispering in the corner. But the whispers stop when he walks by. The atmosphere feels off. He shakes his head, still not fully aware of what's about to unfold. James approaches one of his senior bankers, Carol, a longtime colleague and trusted employee. He's here for a simple task, accessing some financial documents that need to be signed. He should be in and out in 5 minutes. James said, smiling. Hey, Carol, I need a quick favor. I've got a stack of papers that need signature. Carol looks up at him, her face slightly pale. She hesitates for a split second before putting on a forced smile. Carol now uncomfortably. Mr. Carter, I'm afraid I can't process this for you right now. You're not authorized to handle these. James looked confused. Not authorized? Carol, I'm the CEO. I own this bank. These papers are mine to sign. Are you saying you can't let me do that? Carol looking around nervously. I'm really sorry, but it's just protocol. You'll need to speak to someone upstairs for that. James is caught off guard. His brow furrows, and a sense of unease creeps in. What is going on here? He assumes it's a mistake. Maybe she's just overwhelmed, or there's some sort of glitch in the system. It happens. He nods politely, but his mind is racing, and he's starting to feel a tightness in his chest. Then he walks toward another department, hoping to speak with someone else who can help. But as he approaches, he sees a few more employees. They're talking in low voices, and the moment they see him, they fall silent. He feels the tension rise again. He clears his throat and approaches another colleague he's known for years, Martin, a senior financial advisor. Martin looks at him, his face pale, and steps back instinctively. James looks, still trying to remain calm. Martin, can you please help me with these documents? Martin looking uncomfortable, avoiding eye contact. I'm afraid I can't, Mr. Carter. I need to refer you to someone else. James blinks, confused. What's going on here? He pauses, now seriously questioning what's happening. He's never been treated like this before. He's been through countless meetings with clients, staff, and investors. But this is something else entirely. James now said, Look, I'm the CEO. I don't need to be referred. I need to get this done. What is going on here? Martin looked uncomfortable, clearly distressed. Please, Mr. Carter. I'm just following orders. I'm really sorry. The coldness in his voice hits James like a slap to the face. For the first time, he feels a flicker of doubt. This can't be happening. Not here, not now. James is now starting to feel like something is wrong. Something personal. He heads to the elevator, determined to get answers. When he steps into the elevator, a sinking feeling settles in his gut. He presses the button to head up to the top floor. This is where the senior executives sit. He's going to find out who's behind all this. The doors open, and the cold silence of the top floor greets him. He steps out and walks toward the main office. It's eerily quiet. He rounds the corner and then, there, standing at the desk in front of his office, is Tasha, a junior employee who's only been with the company for a year. She's the one who had greeted him when he first entered. But now her face betrays something else. Something James can't quite place. James' voice is sharp now, demanding answers. Tasha, you're the one who has been blocking me, aren't you? Tasha freezes, her eyes widen. But she doesn't say anything. James asks again. Tell me, what's going on here? Why is everyone acting like I don't belong? Tasha finally looks at him, her hands shaking. But it's not just nerves that James sees. It's something darker, something he wasn't prepared for. As James stands in front of Tasha, waiting for an explanation, the quiet tension in the room becomes unbearable. Tasha, still trembling, avoids his gaze, her hands shaking as she clutches the paperwork on her desk. For a moment, the only sound in the room is the soft hum of the air conditioning. James could not hold his anger anymore. I'm done waiting. Why is everyone here suddenly treating me like an outsider? You're acting like I don't belong here, like I don't have the authority to run my own bank. What is going on? Tasha's eyes flicker nervously, and she opens her mouth to speak, but the words don't come. She hesitates, glancing around the room, as if expecting someone to intervene. James's frustration grows, and his voice becomes more forceful. James angrily shouted, "Is this some kind of joke? Someone answer me." Tasha's face turns pale as she looks around the room. Slowly, she lowers her voice to a whisper, almost as if she's afraid to speak. But James catches every word. Tasha said softly, "It's not me. It's Karen. She's the one who told me not to give you access to anything. She said you don't have the right to sign those documents. She's in charge now." James shocked. Karen? Who the hell is Karen? What do you mean she's in charge? Tasha stammering. She's the new senior vice president. She's been here for only a few months, but she's been pulling the strings behind the scenes. She told us you weren't the real owner of the bank anymore, that you lost control, that there is need for change. James's mind races. What is going on? This isn't just about a simple mix-up or a procedural error. Someone, Karen, is deliberately trying to undermine his position, questioning his authority at his own company. But why? James's blood begins to boil as he pieces together the puzzle. He turns sharply, heading straight for Karen's office, his jaw clenched. He can feel the anger rising in his chest, but he's also determined to get to the bottom of this. When he reaches Karen's office, the door is slightly ajar. He doesn't knock. Instead, he bursts through the door, his eyes wild with frustration. James now shouting, "Karen, what the hell is going on? Why is everyone here refusing to let me sign my documents? Why is Tasha being told not to listen to me? You're sabotaging me." Karen, a woman in her late 30s with sharp features and sleek blonde hair, looks up from her desk, her face an unreadable mask. She doesn't seem surprised by his outburst. Instead, she smiles slightly, as if she was expecting this confrontation. Karen said coldly, James, calm down. I'm doing what's best for this company. I don't think you're the right person to lead anymore. Things have changed." James now look. "What do you mean things have changed? I built this bank. I own this bank. I have more experience in this industry than you could ever dream of. And you are telling me that I'm no longer in control." Karen now leaning back in her chair, smugly. "Let's be honest here, James. You've made a lot of mistakes. Maybe you've been too busy patting yourself on the back to notice, but there's a reason I'm here now. Your bank was going downhill. You failed to keep up with the times, and now it's my turn to take over. Your authority is nothing but a formality now. James's heart pounds in his chest as Karen's words hit him like a slap to the face. It's not just that she's undermining his authority. It's that she's actively plotting to take control of the company he worked so hard to build. The audacity of her actions, the cruelty in her tone, fuels his anger. James said, "You think you can just walk in here and steal everything I've built? You think this is your bank now? Let me tell you something, Karen. If you think I'm going to let you take this from me, you're sorely mistaken." Karen looked at him calmly. "I'm not stealing anything, James. I'm just taking what's mine. And you're in my way." The silence in the room is thick with tension. James takes a step forward, his fists clenched at his sides. Karen stands up from her chair, standing tall and unmoved by his fury. She is cold, calculated, everything James can't stand. James said through gritted teeth, "You have no idea who you're dealing with. You want to take my company? I'll burn it to the ground first. No one disrespects me like this." But Karen doesn't flinch. In fact, she seems to relish the moment. Her calmness only makes James's fury more intense. Karen looked at him smiling. "Do what you want, James. But at the end of the day, this is my company now. And if you keep pushing, I'll make sure you're out of the picture for good." Before James can respond, Karen's phone rings. She answers it with a quick motion, still looking directly at him. "Yes, I'm here. I'll take care of it. No, we're fine. Yes. Everything's going according to plan." James watches her, feeling the world around him shift. He finally realizes what's been going on. Karen wasn't acting alone. There's a bigger plan at play here, one that's been slowly taking shape behind the scenes. Karen hangs up the phone and looks at James, her smile widening ever so slightly. Karen now smiling slyly. "You really don't get it, do you? It's not just about you, James. This isn't personal. But if you keep pushing, I'll make sure you never work in this industry again. Your reputation will be destroyed. And your bank? It'll be mine." James is stunned. He stands frozen, staring at her as her words sink in. The weight of what she's saying is almost too much to bear. His empire, the company he built, is slipping from his hands, and the people he trusted are the ones plotting behind his back. For a split second, James feels powerless. But then, a spark of determination flickers in his chest. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. James now looked at her with a fire in his eyes. "You'll regret this, Karen. You've made a dangerous enemy today." But Karen just laughs, the sound cold and dismissive. Karen looked at him mockingly. "I'm not afraid of you, James. And soon, no one will remember your name." She turns her back to him and walks to the window, looking out over the city skyline, as if she's already moved on, already past the battle. It's infuriating how easy she makes it seem, how effortlessly she wields power while James stands there, defeated. James's fingers tighten into fists. He feels a sting of betrayal. But more than that, he feels a burning desire to reclaim his dignity, even if he no longer has control over the bank. Later, as James sits in his office, staring at the empty chair across from him, James takes a long, deep breath. His mind is racing, replaying every moment. The shock, the anger, the helplessness. He built this bank, not just as a business but as a symbol of triumph, of rising above the odds. He's a self-made man, a black CEO in an industry that has long been dominated by others. And now, to have his own creation taken from him, he can't let that happen. James to himself quietly, "I've come too far to let it all slip away." The phone rings. He doesn't answer it at first, too lost in his thoughts. But it rings again. This time, it's the head of operations, Michael, a trusted colleague and friend. James knows he can't avoid this conversation any longer. He picks up the phone. "Hello, Michael." Michael answered nervously. James,
I'm sorry, ma'am.
this is bad. Karen's been gathering support from the board. She's already got them on her side. They're looking to make the change permanent. I didn't think it would go this far. James gritting his teeth. How many people has she got in her pocket? Michael said reluctantly. Just enough to back her up. The board's got her back.
I'm sorry, James.
I tried to fight it, but they want someone like Karen to lead now. They think you've lost touch. It's over. James slams the phone down, feeling the weight of the betrayal. His own people, those he trusted, siding with someone who's only been with the company for a few months. His heart sinks. He has no more allies here. The bank that was once his to command is slipping away. In the following day, the news of the shakeup at LaFleur Financial spreads quickly. James's downfall becomes headline news. Media outlets everywhere are reporting on his sudden fall from power, and the story is shared across social platforms, sparking debates about corporate power, race, and the internal dynamics of big businesses. James now watching TV, he looked frustrated. They're calling it a hostile takeover, but no one's asking why it happened. No one's asking why a CEO was pushed out of his own company. They're just focused on the drama. James watches a news anchor talk about his ousting, and a sickening feeling grows in his stomach. This is it, the ultimate betrayal. But it's also the beginning of something new, something that he's going to have to confront head-on. James said to himself determined, I can't let this define me. I'll rebuild it to something bigger, something stronger, something that nobody can take away. Days later, James gathers a small group of former allies. These are the people who stuck by him, who haven't abandoned him in his darkest hour. Together, they begin to lay out a plan to rebuild. James said passionately, we're going to take this fight to the streets, to the press, to the investors. We're going to remind people what we built here, and we're going to take back everything that was stolen from us. The group listens intently, their faces filled with a renewed sense of purpose. James knows that this is the first step in his comeback, but he also knows the road ahead will be long and difficult. After the meeting, James stands in front of a mirror, staring at his reflection. He sees a man who's been knocked down, but not defeated. He's still breathing, still standing. And this time, he's not going to let anyone take what's rightfully his. He turns away from the mirror, walks out of the office, and heads home. There's a new path ahead of him. A path that will be even harder, but one that will lead to a future of his own making. Days after James has gathered all that is needed and make the necessary moves, he then schedules a meeting and confronts Karen. James stands before the board of directors. The world saw his downfall, but what they don't know is that he's been fighting in the background to get back what was stolen from him. His fight isn't over, not by a long shot. He may have lost his position, but not his resolve. As he prepares to take action, the feeling of betrayal still stings, but it also fuels his fire. James said to himself quietly, they thought they could break me, thought they could take everything I built. But they forgot one thing, I built this, and I'll take it back. James doesn't waste any time. He knows what he has to do. He's been building a coalition of loyal supporters, those who never abandoned him, and now he's ready to move. The first thing on his agenda? Firing Karen, the woman who has done more than just undermine his authority. She's betrayed him. Karen is called into the meeting. She walks in, confident that she's won. But that confidence quickly evaporates when she sees James standing there, unshaken, with a clear fire in his eyes. Karen said, smiling, I guess you finally realized things had to change, huh? You should thank me, James. James said coldly, with a hint of power in his voice.
No, Karen.
You don't get to take credit for what you tried to destroy. You took my company and you tried to turn my own people against me. Now it's time for you to go. Karen now laughing, thinking he's bluffing. Really? You're firing me? You don't have the power anymore, James. James said firmly, I don't need the power, Karen. I am the power here. You're out. James watches as Karen's face falls, her arrogance replaced with disbelief. She realizes too late that she's been outplayed. The power she thought she had is slipping away as James reclaims control. James said, looking straight into her eyes, "This is my company. You tried to take it from me, but now we're going to build it into something greater than ever. You wanted change, Karen? Well, here's the change. I'm back, and I'm not going anywhere." He gestures to his assistant to have her escorted out, and within moments, Karen's time at Lafleur Financial comes to a swift end. Her betrayal will be remembered, but it will also serve as a lesson. No one is above the consequences of their actions. James said to his assistant, "Get me the list of everyone who's been undermining me. We're cleaning the house." The next day, James calls a meeting with the employees who stood by him, those who didn't jump ship when the tide turned. He thanks them for their loyalty, but more importantly, he tells them what comes next. A stronger, more united Lafleur Financial. James said, addressing the room with conviction, "We've been through hell, but we're not just going to rebuild, we're going to thrive. We're going to lead this company with integrity and respect, and we're going to show everyone that when you fight for what's right, you win. And as for those who betrayed us, they're gone. They don't get to be part of our future." James's story isn't just about reclaiming what was taken from him. It's about showing the world that true leadership isn't about power. It's about standing strong in the face of adversity, owning your mistakes, and rising from the ashes. If you've been knocked down, if you've been betrayed, remember this. You have the power to take it all back. Don't let anyone steal what's yours. Kindly like this video, subscribe, and join me on this journey of redemption. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.